Hello again, everyone. Todd Michael Putnam from Creative Adventure Tables bringing you another adventure table idea, and this one is the Order of Chaos. The Order of Chaos. So this is going to be the second adventure in my second campaign for Shadow Dark. And in this particular adventure, the characters are holed up inside of a keep. The whole campaign is basically a really, really loose play off of the old B2 module Keep on the Borderlands. So the Keep is their home base, and all their adventures will basically take place from out of there. So they're in the Keep, and when this session starts off, the Keep has been swept by a plague, and people are dying left and right, and it's a very virulent plague that it starts turning their fingers black and their ears and their nose and stuff like that, and their feet all start turning like a purplish black color, and it's like necrosis basically, and it's very terrible, and it's very contagious, and so and it's lethal, and the people are just dying left and right, and enough people have died that the Castilian of the keep there says that's it. Everybody has to stay in their homes. Nobody can go out. The guards basically declared martial law because people started doing looting and stuff like that in order to get food. And anybody that they found who was out and about, that they would try to arrest them and throw them into the jails. But then the jails got all filled up with the plague, and so many of them died, and the number of corpses got so big that eventually what they ended up deciding to do was literally to just to dump the people down into the sewers where the rats and stuff would eat them. The corpses, not the people, sorry. Dump the corpses of the plague victims down into their sewers in order to keep them from clogging up the streets and everything else with all the corpses. So, and enough of the guards themselves had been taken ill or had died that they decided they were desperate enough to keep some kind of order, that they actually hired out for adventurers in order to patrol the keep, and they're actually paying a full month's pay of guard duty just for 1 week of actually trying to patrol and make sure that there aren't any looters or anything like that. So the heroes have taken up this, and they're going around, they're patrolling, and they'll end up finding a couple of looters, and they'll get into some fights with them, and they'll fight to the death. They're just desperate people basically, but they're stabbing away at the characters. And when the players go to try and dump them into the sewers, like the little sewer grates that I've got there, when they open up the sewer grate, basically this undead creature is going to come out of the sewer and start grabbing at them and clawing away at them, and of course they'll have to kill it. So they dump the character. They dump the looters who they slew down there, and they have to take care of the zombie-like creature, and that of course begs them that they're going to have to go into the sewers themselves and find out what the heck's going on, because it was clear that the zombie that came up was one of the former guards who had been slain by the plague or killed by the plague, and somehow he has come back as a zombie. And when they go to report that, naturally they are told that they need to go into the sewers themselves and find out what's happening. So they will descend into the sewers, and that will bring them to this whole section. And of course, all this will be covered up with black poster board, just like I usually use. So it'll be, piece by piece gets pulled off as they come down to sections here. And then it all depends on which direction they want to go into. If they come around the corner here, there's going to be a room that's got a whole bunch of decomposed bodies and whatnot, and a bunch of rats in there. And but if they fight them off, giant rats, if they fight them off, again, this is a first level adventure. There's also going to be some potions and stuff that are in here, are actually alchemical materials, different liquids and accelerants and stuff like that, that if they find, that's a little bit of a clue of what's going on. And also some of them are ones that they can be used. I have it so they can create their own potions of healing rather than just find potions of healing everywhere. They have certain ingredients, and if they find enough of the ingredients, they can make a check and see whether or not they can craft a potion of healing that they can have for themselves. So it gives them just a little something more to go after these ingredients. But there's also a clue. It's like, well, what are these alchemical components doing down here? That's a foreshadowing of things to come. And from that point, they can go forward. If they come around here, we've just got some couple of big old crocodiles that were thrown down a long time ago into the sewer, and they've gotten quite fat on the corpses and of the people that have been the deceased that have been thrown down here, and of course the rats and stuff like that they eat. So a couple of large crocodiles for them to fight. If they go into this room here, they're going to find lots of piles of the corpses. And obviously this is not where all the corpses fell. So in this natural cavern type thing, somebody's obviously created this huge, rather solid iron door, set of double iron doors here. And so when the players go in there, somebody's obviously dug all this out and then dragged, it looks like a great many of the corpses into this area. And every round that they're in there, there's a chance that one of these corpses is going to pop up as a zombie for the players to have to try and kill, which of course is going to lead them to wanting to maybe burn all the corpses or find some way to destroy them before more zombies come. But that just begs the question, who was it that did this? Who dragged all of these corpses into this one location? And still, what's causing them to be resurrected as zombies? Of course, again, the foreshadowing being there's some alchemical components going on here. The players can then go around to this side over here, and it leads into a dead end, but there's also another open room over here. Or, again, they could have gone... As they come out this first room here, they could have come down to here and then gone in through this room. Either one, they're going to end up in one of these two rooms right here. It's essentially the same room. There are plague doctors that are in here, men that are dressed in black outfits, and they've got the big bird-like masks. If you remember the plague doctors from whatever it was, the 1800s or 1700s, I think it was actually. That they'd wear these specific hats and masks and stuff, and that to try and keep. They didn't believe in the germ theory back then. It was a smell theory. So they had these big long beaks, and they would fill it up with flowers and stuff in order to prevent the odor from making them sick. Obviously, that theory got debunked, and eventually, once they figured out what germs were, but at the time, that's what they were, and they were called plague doctors. So there's plague doctors in here, and they've got a bunch of zombies guarding them, and they talk about the order of chaos, and that the natural order must be restored, and that the unbelievers shall fall, etc., so on and so forth. So they're clearly zealots of some kind that the heroes have to take down and eliminate. So there'll be the zombies that they have to deal with, and then the plague doctors, who I am using the plague doctor class from Unnatural something, I can't remember what it's called, Unnatural Selection, I think it is, which was a Kickstarter for a Shadow Dark thing. But of course, whatever system you're using, you can make up your own stats and whatnot. But I'm using the Plague Doctors as that class, as an NPC guy monster for this. So there's a couple of Plague Doctors in there to fight. And there is also a large lever that's going to be up against one of the walls. And when they pull that lever, they don't see anything happen in this room, but they hear like this rolling back clunking noise. And it'll be the same thing if they fight the plague doctors and zombies in here. There's a large lever in here, and they hear like a rolling back and a clanking noise somewhere distant in the dungeon. So it's affecting something there. And those two levers affect portals. There's an iron grate portal here that when they pull the lever in this room here back, this one will open. And when they pull the lever in this room back, the one further down in there will open. And they're going to need to open those two levers in order to get to the final bosses of the dungeon. That's kind of basically their guard barracks, if you were, these two things, protecting them to make sure that would-be adventurers or guards or anybody like that came down here wouldn't be able to make it to the master plague doctor, who's like an evil alchemist, and as we shall see, or as the players will eventually find out, is the cause of the creation of these things. But things get stranger from there. So once they've opened up both of these portals or pulled both of those levers, the only place left for them to go will be in this direction. They'll face some new zombies here, but these zombies look different than the other ones, and that's because these are level 1 mutant zombies. So in Shadow Dark, there's ways that you can, mutant up your monsters and stuff. There's a variety of tables you can roll on. So as the plague doctors continue to test their they're concoctions that are causing the plague and then causing the dead themselves to rise as zombies. They keep trying different versions of it, and they're starting to mutate them. And these guys aren't just normal zombies; they're level 1 mutant zombies that basically they can have like tentacles that come out, or maybe if they bite you, they have acid bite, or maybe their skin is like harder than is like almost as hard as hard leather or something, and so they're a little bit harder to do damage to. They're just a step above your standard zombies, basically. Standard zombies, but with one extra mutation added on. If they get past them, then there's zombies and another plague doctor, a little bit better plague doctor with other abilities. In here, these zombies are level 2, and they've got 2 sets of mutations for them. Various things. Again, it could be tentacles, or it could be spikes that fly out of them. Or it could be that when they hit, they cause a contagion, and they might do permanent hit point loss if they don't make a DC con check of a certain level. There's a variety of different things that they can do, so the players are never quite sure. It adds a little bit of a horror element to it, because there's a chance like they could be disfigured and their charisma could go down, or they could lose some of their strength or their constitution or anything like that from the infection of these things, and they never know which each one of these zombies might do because the mutations are different on them. So there's a little bit of a horror element going on in there as well, kind of try and up the stakes a bit. And then finally, there's of course the ultimate plague doctor, the guy who's behind this whole shindig. He's over here. I've got him, of course, sitting behind this alchemy bench, and he's got the big one, level 3 brute zombie who just keeps on fighting, and he's got 3 levels of mutations going for him, as well as, of course, some extra beefed up hit points. So he's a big bag of hit points that the players can be beating on, while the plague doctor himself is stuck behind these iron bars, which are going to make it impossible to melee him, and harder to like fire arrows or anything like that through to him. So he might be able to throw out some things at the players. It just makes it a little bit harder to get to him. So that's a strategy element for it. And once they defeat them, then of course there's going to be some gold that they find and some magical components and some more healing type stuff they can use to make healing potions. Forgot to mention that in each of these rooms with the plague doctors, this one and this one, there'll be more components that they can combine and have a chance of being able to produce healing potions for themselves. Again, this is the first level. It's a new thing that I'm adding into the campaign. So plague doctors with the alchemy and stuff like that seems like a good way to be able to add that in there. And of course, this the ultimate plague doctor here, the big boss monster, he's going to have a couple of magic items. One of them is going to be magical ink that, when you write on it, you can't see it until it gets near flame, kind of like, the Ring of Sauron or whatever, and Sauron, excuse me. You get the paper near flames or close to it, not on fire or whatever. That heat will warm it up and you can see the text that's written on there. And there will be a map that shows where the caves of chaos are located. And it'll say that the scaled ones share our God and our goal. And so clearly there's some kind of an evil deity that's also behind this. And they are somehow, and there's an alliance possibly going on with creatures that are in this Caves of Chaos. Again, throwback to the B2 Keep on the Borderlands module that this is all very loosely based off of. And it gives the players a personal reason to go out there and continue the story and figure out what's going on and how deep this particular thread goes. So that's it. That's the Order of Chaos. And I'm not sure if I said it at the beginning, but the reason they call themselves the Order of Chaos is that they believe that the true natural order of things is that the cunning and the strong rule the weak and the foolish. That is the natural order, and that society itself, all the rules, those rules protect the weak, it protects the foolish. They think that's not how nature should be. It should be the cunning and the strong. And so they believe that by creating this plague and killing enough people and causing enough fear and chaos and pandemonium, the society itself will break down. And when everything goes crazy, that's when they can sweep in and reestablish the order of chaos, or the natural order of things, where they, who they believe themselves to be, of course, the more cunning or smarter ones, and stronger with their army of zombies, can rule. And so that's why they're doing the stuff that they're doing to try and undermine the keep and to try and ally themselves with whatever strange creatures are in the caves of chaos. So that's it. If you watched this far, please like and subscribe. I'm not sure how many videos up to. It's like well over 300. Most of them tabletop role-playing game ideas for adventures. So please like and subscribe. Hit that bell notification so you know when I put a new one up. I usually put up a new one every weekend or Monday at the absolute latest. And let me know in the comments below what you think. And I will talk to you guys next adventure. Take care. Bye.